Hi everyone. Today I am going to explain about classification of assets and liabilities in the unit accounting process. Assets and liabilities are two major aspects of a business and it is a measure of its long-term viability. In short, assets and liabilities simply indicate that assets add money to the firm and the liabilities take money out from the firm. Examples of assets are buildings, equipment, inventory, and cash. Liabilities are always obligations of a company which may be either amount it owes or services yet to be performed. Classification of assets. Assets can be classified on the basis of convertibility, physical existence, and usage. Types of assets. Assets can be classified into 6 different categories. First one is current asset, which is also known as short-term assets, which means it can be readily converted into cash or its equivalent resources typically within a year, are known as liquid assets or short-term assets or current assets. Next one is fixed asset. It is also known as hard assets and fixed assets. These resources are not easy to convert into cash or its equivalent kind. Generally, land, machinery, equipment, building, patents, trademarks, etc. are considered as fixed assets. Tangible assets. Assets with the physical existence are categories as tangible assets. Examples of these kind of assets are stock, land, building, office supplies, equipment, machinery, and marketable securities. Intangible assets. On the contrary, these kind of assets which do not possess a physical existence. These are all known as intangible assets. The best example of such assets would be goodwill, intellectual property, and patent. Then, operating assets. These assets are termed as operating assets because it is very useful to generate revenue and to maintain daily operation. Non-operating assets. These operating assets are not useful for day-to-day operation. So, they are known as non-operating assets. These assets are not used for performing daily operations. They only tend to help generate significant revenue. Examples of non-operating assets are vacant land, income generated to fixed deposits, etc. So these are all the types of assets. Now we are going to learn about various types of liabilities. Liabilities can be classified broadly into 4: fixed liability, long-term liability, current liabilities, and contingent liability. Fixed liabilities are due to owners, partners, shareholders of an enterprise and they are payable only on dissolution or liquidation of an enterprise. Long-term liabilities are such loans or debentures that are payable on or after lapse of term consented to in the borrowing. Then current liabilities, these are short-term obligations payable within next accounting period. Contingent liabilities, these liabilities may or may not arise due to certain situations. However, it is important to be cautious about them. Consider an example of a case that is pending in a court of law concerning a disputed payment or compensation claim. If the case is declined against the enterprise, then liability arises. Whereas there is no obligation to pay, as such no liability. So it may happen or may not happen. Such liabilities are known as contingent liability. So these are all the various types of liabilities. Thank you.